All right, everyone. Welcome back to Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Justice for All, Episode 3, Turnabout Big Top. We're on Part 4-1, The Trial. That's going to start right now. December 30th, 9:41 a.m., District Court, Defendant Lobby, number 5. Good morning, Max. Oh, yeah. Good morning, sweeties. You don't look like your usual sparkling self today. I'm always like this before I go in front of an audience. I'm working up to it. Teehee. Don't get nervous, Maxie. Here, have a glass of milk. Regina! How fabulous! My sweetie pie. My sweetie pie princess, even. You came to watch my performance today. Of course I did. Mo told me that I should come and watch this. Mo said that? So what kind of performance will you put on today? Let me guess, you'll fly at the end? It's not that kind of show. Isn't that right, my sweeties? Huh? I think my sweetie pie princess doesn't, yeah, she doesn't seem to realize what's going on, or even where she is. Well, Max, it looks like it's time to raise the curtain. I'll see you later. Today I'm just a member of the audience. Fabulous! Enjoy yourself out there. Good luck, Max. You're the best. Regina's different. Don't you think, Nick? Top of the morning. Top of the morning to you. Everybody, let's get ready to get stuck in legal limbo. How low can you go, Mo? Top of the morning to you, Governor. Top of the morning. That's the ticket. Attacking the day starts with energy in the morning. The early bird gets the worm. But then again, worms lack higher brain function. Shut up. Here, Max, I brought you a present. Have some milk. Oh my, thank you. So how are you today, Rat? Well, I've got the feeling that today I'm going to face off against the real culprit. You mean Acro? Huh? You think he did it? Be careful. He's used to putting his life on the line, literally. He's got guts to spare. If all I've got to worry about is how thin the tightrope is, I'm used to it already. It just means that I won't be able to press him like I can other witnesses. What are you going to do then, Nick? I guess today we'll just have to do without our usual psychological warfare. Today we'll rely on evidence. It's the only way we'll get past Acro and to the truth. You're right, but it's gonna be tough. Anyway, I want you to make sure that Regina sees it all today. It's important. Then she'll finally have to deal with the reality of what happened to her father. You want us to make sure Regina watches? Yes, that's why I brought her here today to court. What's that supposed to mean? She needs to know that when people die, they don't just become stars. I may be an old-fashioned clown, but I don't believe in people becoming stars. Stars are just big balls of gas burning billions of miles away. With you, everything's gas. December 30th, 10 a.m., District Court, Courtroom number 2. Rubble, 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 clack. Court is now in session for the trial of Maximilian Galactica. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Very well, Miss Von Karma, you may proceed with your case. The prosecution would like to revise its previous theory of events. I'm stuttering. I'm having a stroke. What's the meaning of this? We have discovered a new witness, or shall I say a new eyewitness. One that saw Maximilian Galactica fly off from the scene of the crime. Rubble, 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 clack. Order, order! I had a feeling something like this would come up. Due to this revision, we are now prepared to explain how the defendant flew that night. An explanation the prosecution will present if the need so arises. In fact, my detective stayed up all night creating a mock-up of the scene on my orders. Poor Gumshoe. Clack. Very well. Please call your witness to the stand. Time to get to work, or shall I say, time to walk the courtroom tightrope. All right. What are you, a Disney princess? Name and occupation. Ken Dingaling, but everyone calls me Acro. I'm employed as an acrobat at the Berry Big Circus. Where were you the night of the crime? I was in my room that night. If you look at the map, you will see the witness's room is near the crime scene. My room is on the 3rd floor. The crime scene is below my window. The night of the crime, the witness saw something quite shocking. Would you tell us what we witnessed? Okay. What I witnessed. It was just after 10 p.m., and I was resting in my bed. Around that time, I heard a large thump noise from outside the window. Then, a few moments later, I saw someone flying right by my window. It was Max Galactica. I only saw him from behind, but that's who it looked like. To be honest, when I saw that, I thought I was dreaming. The witness's testimony matches up exactly with that of the clown. If that's the case, there is very little the prosecution needs to add. All that's left is to explain how the defendant disappeared into the sky that night. Hold it. Before we get that far, I'd like to cross-examine the witness. A foolish choice by a foolish fool who wishes to feel the foolish sadness of a sad fool. A man must know the proper timing for things, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Just like your old friend, Mr. Miles Edgeworth, did. Mr. Wright, do you have a problem with the witness's testimony? In the words of Miss Von Karma, may I quote yesterday's proceedings? There's no way that actually happened. Very well, you may proceed with your cross-examination. Excellent. Alright, I can't do my normal pressing, so let's... Just after 10 p.m. On the time, let's see. A few moments later, I saw... It was Max Galacta. To be honest, when I saw that, I thought I was dreaming. I don't know. I can't press? But then, what do I have? I kind of know... I know in advance what actually needs to be... what the actual solution is, but, I don't know, once again, look at the blurriness of the placard there. The greatest magician, you could barely read it. You know, I think I have to press something because... Okay, let's just be very choosy about what we press. It was just after 10 p.m. Okay, not necessary. I heard a thump noise from outside the window. I saw someone flying right by my window. I saw from behind. Flying right by my window. Okay. This is the one that's like the most suspicious. I only saw him from behind. Okay. Hold it. The light in your room was turned off by then, right? That's true. I was going to bed after all. So with the lights off, you were still able to clearly see a human fly by your window? Well, yeah, because there's a light right outside his window. The safety lights lit things up enough for me to see. But honestly, there was only enough light for me to see the silhouette outside my window. It was the person's back, so I couldn't see the white roses on the front. Did you see any of the other symbols? I clearly saw the silk hat, as well as the cloak wrapped around his body. I'm convinced that the person I saw was Max Galactica. The more I press him, the less results I seem to get. Maybe there was something fishy with that latest bit of testimony. Yeah, how do you know if it was the back or front? If... there was a huge contradiction with the testimony that was just given. Objection. If there's a contradiction, then prove it with evidence. She's right. Let's see some evidence. Do you have any evidence to support your claim of contradiction? I don't know. Well, let's... Oh, wait, I know, because once again, just like we pointed out on the first day of trial, the hat was found at the crime scene, but it was also seen flying away on the figure, so it can't be in two places at once, so... You claim to have seen the exact same thing Mo saw that night. Do you stand by that? What do you mean? The silk hat. What about the silk hat? I saw it on Max's head as he flew by my window. Well, you should have tried looking down out of your window that night. That would have been quite difficult considering the state that I'm in. Just looking outside of the window was a tough enough challenge for me. That's a shame because you would have noticed the silk hat was found on the scene. That's the ringmaster's hat, right? Wrong. Afraid not. No matter how you look at it, this is Max's silk hat. Where are you going with this, Mr. Wright? Are you saying that Max has two silk hats? No. This is a handmade, one-of-a-kind model made only for Maximilian Galactica, which means, Acro, that you've been fibbing on the stand. Rubble, 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 clack. Order! Objection. As always, it looks like someone just had to open their mouth before thinking. Are you okay, Nick? Well, I opened my big mouth and now I have to back it up. How about it, Mr. Wright? What would cause this witness to commit perjury in court today? Acro was dreaming. Acro is the real culprit. He has a grudge against Max. Do I dare accuse him? It's the right answer. But do we have enough to do that? No, he doesn't have a grudge against Max. And he wasn't, so that's the only answer. Your Honor, on this occasion, the defense accuses Acro himself. On this occasion? Accuses Acro? What in the world are you accusing him of? Obviously, we accuse him of the murder of Russell Berry. Rubble, 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 clack, 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 clack. Mr. Wright, are you serious? Deadly serious, Your Honor. You think your trips to the circus have served you well. You seem to have learned how to try to grab at an audience's heart and minds. Your Honor, don't allow yourself to be swayed by theatrics. Trying to wow the crowd with smoke and mirrors is the oldest bluff in the book. Really? If you don't believe me, just look at the witness. He's calm enough for it to almost be scary. Get out of here. He is staying rather calm and collected. Mr. Dingling, do you have any response to the defense's accusation? I don't really need to say a thing, do I? What do you mean? Everyone, take a good look at me. I can't even stand up by myself, let alone leave the lodging house. That's true. I understand that Mr. Wright is just trying to help his client. But to do this by accusing me of a murder, of all things... See, even a sliver of common sense makes it clear the accusation is ludicrous. Rubble, 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 rubble. She's right. Way to pick on the disabled, you heartless, cruel man. Phoenix is a poopy head. See that, Mr. Phoenix Wright? If you're trying to drum up support for the Peanut Gallery, if you're trying to drum up support from the Peanut Gallery, that's how you do it. I think that's enough of this little game. I've got a doctor's note to confirm that Acro is unable to stand under his own power. Maybe the defense is planning on making a claim to counter this as well? I can hear the defense now. Acro had an accomplice. What do you say about this, Mr. Wright? Did Acro have an accomplice? I'm gonna say... no, of course he didn't. Now then, this must be when you get to hear the name of the mysterious accomplice. Not this time, Von Karma. What? Nani? You're not going to sucker me into this one. What are you blabbering about, Mr. Wright? Blabbering. There was no accomplice. Acro planned and committed this murder all by himself. Rubble, 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 rubble. Clack, clack, clack. Order, order. What are you getting at, you fool? Way to keep them on their toes, Nick. Now I'm going to have to prove how it all fits together. I have to show how Acro murdered Russell Berry. Can you do it, Nick? Can you really do that? I know what I can't do. I can't stop now. If I stop attacking, I'm doomed. Alright, then let's do it. Mr. Phoenix Wright. If this witness is the killer, then his eyewitness account is all lies, right? Mr. Wright, I'd like you to clear something up for me. When the crime was committed, exactly where was Mr. Dingaling? He was in his room, of course. Take that. He was obviously here the entire time. That's Acro's room. Pretty simple, eh? Acro wasn't able to leave the lodging house by himself. In that case, there can be only one correct answer. Acro didn't leave his room to kill the ringmaster. Are you nuts? What say you, Mr. Dingaling? It's an interesting theory. That's it? Considering that what you proposed is impossible, yes. That's it. Rubble, 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 rubble. Mr. Wright, can I have a word with you? Yes, Your Honor. As the witness has stated, your assertion is impossible. As he is in a wheelchair, there is no way he could go to the scene or be the killer. You've got a point. It seems you've forgotten once again, Mr. Phoenix Wright. The defendant was clearly spotted at the scene of the crime. That's true. Most said that he saw Max, didn't he? But Maya, it's still impossible for humans to fly. Do you mind if I ask a question, Mr. Wright? What is it? I understand some of your logic. However, how do you think that I killed him? If I can't leave my room, I obviously couldn't wear Max's costume. How did he do it? That's the next course of this legal buffet. Be careful, Nick, if you mess up here. She's right, I can't mess up here. I've got to give this one some serious thought. I'm sure that Acro killed the ringmaster, and he did it while he was in his room, no doubt about it. Time to enlighten us as to how Mr. Dingaling committed the crime, Mr. Wright. I know how it was done. Present evidence. I'm going to present some evidence. What did Mr. Dingling use to commit the crime of murder against Russell Berry? I'm hoping I'm not jumping the gun here. Take that. What's that, a picture? Yeah, he gave him a nasty paper cut. It is indeed. The problem is with the item that's shown in the picture. The bust. It's quite a large bust. It's because it is life-sized. It is also very, very heavy. Heavy. Heavy enough to guarantee a certain death, especially if it was dropped from a third-story window. Ah. See? This is how Acro was able to kill the Ringmaster, with the force of gravity and Maximilian Galactica's ample bust. Okay, can we stop making boob jokes? Even though I appreciate them. Order, order! So you're saying the bust fell on the Ringmaster? A rather simple crime. Even if you were stuck in a wheelchair, it would be incredibly easy to commit. Objection. How could you possibly wheel a wheelchair with something so heavy? It is impossible. Objection. Well, Acro is an acrobat. He should have more than enough upper body strength to carry something like that bust. Clack. Mr. Dingling, how do you respond to these charges? Well, Acro's at a loss for words. He should be. He knows that I'm getting close to the truth. Well, 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 Acro, you can't run away. Ow! I'd watch what you say if I were you, Mr. Phoenix Wright. That was a bad pun he was about to make. What? Your Honor, the physical health of the witness is material to this case. Or immaterial, I don't know. I demand that we get proper testimony from the witness himself. Testimony, you say? Von Karma. She's just using this testimony as a ruse to stall for time. Objection. There is absolutely no need for such testimony. Objection. The defense has its version of the murder. The prosecution has the right to respond. Clack. The defense's objection is overruled. Why can't he see things my way once in a while? Mr. Dingling, I'm sorry, but we need you to testify about your physical condition. If you have any doubts about your ability to testify, we can request expert testimony. The witness will have no problems. However, let's all be respectful towards him. Thank you. That woman will sink to any low to win a case. Okay. I suppose I could have lifted something the size of that bust. I have a strong upper body from working as an acrobat, and only my legs were injured. However, lifting the bust and looking out the window would have been impossible. There's no way I could have exerted that kind of force on my lower body. That makes it impossible for me to have known the location of the Ringmaster's head. Thus, it would have been unrealistic for me to drop the bust on him, don't you think? I think I spotted it already. I have no doubts in regards to this witness's testimony. It was impossible for him to lift the bust and stick himself out far enough to look. Not to mention that he could have not known the location of the Ringmaster's head. A single false step would have led to even more severe injuries. That's what I was thinking. What is your opinion of this matter, Phoenix Wright? Mr. Wright? I'd still like to proceed with my cross-examination. He's simply stalling. It's shameful, really. Can't let her get to me. I've got to focus. Okay. Gonna lift it up. That's interesting. There's no way I could have exerted that kind of force. That makes it impossible to have known the location. Unrealistic for me to drop the bust on him, don't you think? Possible for me to have known the location. Okay, it's either this one or this one. Oh, no. It's this one. Okay, what's in the box? Objection. Ekro. You didn't really need to lean out the window, did you? What are you driving at, Mr. Wright? You already knew ahead of time where the ringmaster's head was going to be. Quite precisely, I may add. Objection. Your silly hinting at things is pointless, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Enough stalling. How about you show us some evidence? But I did such a good job hinting. Yes, hurry up and explain things, Mr. Wright. Maybe you should take a look at this picture. The key point here is the wooden box. The same wooden box that the victim was found hunched over. Oh, I think someone else said that. The same wooden box the victim was hunched over? The same. The question is, who placed the wooden box here? Who? When Ben and company saw the ringmaster, they didn't see him holding the box, which means that this wooden box was already placed at the scene of the crime. I have to admit that your theory makes a lot of sense. Of course it does. I'm Phoenix Wright. I know what I'm talking about. The moment that the bust came falling down was exactly the same moment that the ringmaster lifted up this wooden box, which means that the answer to all these questions is now crystal clear. You mean, if the bust were to fall upon the point marked out by the wooden box, there would be no way that it could miss the head of the victim. No. Clack, clack, clack. Order, order, order! This is unbelievable. Finally, some of these loose ends are starting to tie themselves up. Now I just gotta keep going. There's really only one way to go forward here. To go from here forward. So the next question I have is, who placed that wooden box at the scene? Yeah, that's a good question. It was Mr. Dingling, of course. He connected it to the rope, and then all he had to do was lower it down. Ow! How do you get the rope back then? Allow me to whip you. Ow, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Ow, 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 ow. The ringmaster's head could have been anywhere when he lifted the box. That's why the box was so specially made. Specially made? Indeed. It had the most peculiar feature. The size... I was going to say the lock, because the lock's only on one side, so we'd have to approach it from one side. I'm going to guess the weight. The box has a remarkable weight. Weight? According to the courtroom record, it weighs 20 pounds. Just to lift up the wooden box would have required... Oh, I see! One would have to squat down, then lift it up with their body, wouldn't you say? That's exactly what I was trying to point out. The box is also very heavy. The box also has carrying handles on either side, doesn't it? That's correct. To lift up the box, you'd have to squat down. Which means that no matter who you are, your head would be in approximately the same place. Fool! Rubble, rubble, rubble. Does he even bother to listen to me anymore? I've heard what you've had to say. I must admit, I'm shocked at your imaginative skills. Did you do it? Did you place this wooden box in the plaza? Mr. Wright may have a vivid imagination, but I could never have done what he's proposing. What? Mr. Wright, do you recall the original location of Max's bust? I remember. Of course I remember. It was on top of the table in the cafeteria. Then what happened to it? I'd like you to remember one important fact, Mr. Wright. I could not possibly leave the lodging house by myself. Ah, that means... You understand what I mean, don't you? I may very well have been able to drop the bust from my room. However, how could I have gotten the bust from the cafeteria to my room? Rubble, 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 rubble. You see, Mr. Phoenix Wright, explain that. Don't forget, you said there was no accomplice. Oh, I did say that, didn't I? Tell us exactly how the witness could have carried the bust from the cafeteria. Yep, we definitely have a problem here. But this is no place to get perplexed. I've got to get my wits about me and prove how things happened once and for all. Alright, Mr. Wright, let's hear your explanation. How did the witness get the bust from the cafeteria back to his room? Well, he did have an accomplice, but it wasn't a human. It was a simian. Take that. A monkey? Everyone knows Money. He loves shiny objects of any size. Oh, like when he stole this ventriloquist's ring. So, are you saying the witness had a monkey steal the bust? Of course he didn't order the monkey to steal it. The monkey stole it on his own and then brought it back home. Home? Money lives in Acro's room. Acro's room? Objection. But the bust was bronze, wasn't it? Bronze isn't all that shiny. Objection. Maybe you should put the whip down sometime and read the court record. My, those are some very nice cards he's holding. Yes, and they are made of platinum, which is very shiny. Oh no! Acro. Money is a strong monkey, right? It'd be easy for him to bring the bust back to your room. If he wasn't able to handle that himself, I'd be on the market for a new roommate. Rubble, 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 clack, clack, clack. Order, order! I said order, Miss Von Karma. Where's the bust in question at this moment? I don't know. We're searching for it as we speak. This is a rather strange turn of events. But let's say that the monkey had not stolen the bust. What would have happened then? Well, in that event, something else would have been used as the murder weapon. Wait. Then you mean this bust was the murder weapon purely by accident? It's possible. Maybe Acro saw Money's mountain of stolen goods and thought to use one of them. Anyways, I think we've more than proven one critical fact. Namely, that it was entirely possible that Acro was the murderer. Moron! Clack, clack, clack. Mr. Wright's argument was so circular, I'm still a bit dizzy. However, his argument does hold water. There's no denying that. Ow! Ow! Don't seem so flamboozled, especially by this fraud of an attorney. Fraud? You're forgetting the absolute most important thing, Mr. Phoenix Wright. And what is that? You should know. You forgot that your fraud of a magical client was spotted at the scene of the crime. Oh, yeah. There is no reason to doubt the clown's testimony. Oh, that's true. How do you respond to that, Mr. Wright? Nick, don't let them beat you now. I won't. This is my chance to turn this trial around. When the murder occurred, there were two people at the scene of the crime. One was the victim, Russell Berry, and the other one was the murderer himself. Answer this and only this, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Who was the murderer the clown saw? It's the statue. It's gotta be. He saw... ow! I asked you who the other person most saw on the scene. The evidence has nothing to do with the question. Objection. Au contraire, mon frère. It does indeed have something to do with the question. Mo said that he saw Max's silhouette. But he did not actually see the man himself. It wasn't a human being he saw. Clack, clack, clack. How is this possible? It's simple, really. What Mo actually saw that night was Max's bust. Objection. What are you talking about? Have you tried using your brain at all in this case? The silhouette he saw was wearing a cloak. Objection. There's no reason why you couldn't attach a cloak to a bust. It would have been easy to hang one off of the cord in the bust's hands. Idiot. Who in their right mind would put a cloak on a bust? It doesn't matter who put it on the bust. Just wait a minute now, Mr. Wright. Who put the cloak on the bust? That question is of the utmost importance in this case, don't you agree? Oh, you caught me. Let's have it, Mr. Wright. Who put the cloak on the bust? Okay. This is so incredibly stupid. But look at this. Notice he's not wearing the cloak. But he had the cloak on, right? So, this is gonna... This is so stupid. Take that. Fool! Him? You're saying it was the victim himself, Russell Berry? That's what I'm saying. The victim himself placed the cloak on the bust? Place the cloak isn't really the right way of putting it. Then what would be the right way of putting it, Mr. Wright? Explain yourself. Nick, do you really have a handle on all this? I'm fine, Maya. I'm finally putting all the pieces together. There's really only one picture I can paint anyway. Alright. So you want to know what really happened that night? Let's step back in time. Acro used a rope to lower the wooden box onto the scene. Then he attached the rope to the bust and dangled the bust out the bedroom window directly above the wooden box. At the same time, the ringmaster told Max to wait in his room and went to the scene. Of course, at the time, the ringmaster was wearing Max's costume. Perhaps he didn't want anyone to recognize him that night. But just as he feared, he was spotted at the entrance of the lodging house by none other than the ventriloquist and his puppet, Ben and Trillo. When the ringmaster arrived at the scene, he bent over to lift the wooden box. And that's when Acro took his chance and released the rope. Now this is when the magic happens. This is so incredibly stupid. At the very instant that the bust hit the victim, Nope. Nope. No. You wait just a second there, Mr. Phoenix Wright. As much as you try, as much as you scheme, this just isn't true. It can't be. This is so stupid. It's still a little early to be getting so upset, Miss Von Karma. This circus isn't over yet. What? The impact of the bust on the victim threw the cloak up, which snagged onto the bust. The impact also caused the sound of a certain witness, heard, prompting him to take a look. That witness was, of course, Lawrence Mo Curls, the clown. When Mo looked out his window, the cloak had already snagged onto the bust. Now, having completed the crime, Acro naturally went about pulling the murder weapon. Of course, he had no idea that Mo saw the bust being raised with the cloak dangling on it, primarily because in his wheelchair, he couldn't see out of his window, so he just kept pulling the bust up. Unbelievable. And that is how the magical murderer disappeared into the sky. I'm sorry, how is this worded? And that is how the magical murderer disappearing into the sky came to be. A bunch of ellipses. So you see, the only person who could have pulled this off is the one person who was able to drop the murder weapon from above the crime scene. Acro, it could only have been you. Acro's been playing mind games with us all. He sure has, but he has come to the end of his rope. So, what now? You've graced us with a rather long-winded tale. But do you have any evidence to prove that your fairy tale is true? Evidence? In this court, only two things matter. The power of evidence and the power of my whip. Clack. Don't forget the power of my gavel as well. Mr. Wright, the prosecution brings up a good point. Can we see some evidence? Nick, they say they want evidence. I just explained how there can be only one possible murder method, but there is still something unusual about Moe's eyewitness account. Unusual? A contradiction, actually. Okay, then. Use that and get out of this jam. I'm not sure what she's talking about. That's enough talking amongst yourselves. Proceed, Mr. Wright. Present some evidence to the court that backs your claims. I want hard proof that you have unraveled the trick to this magic case. Oh, I don't know. Is it the hat again? It's always the hat, because the hat is on the ground while the silhouette with the hat flies up, so... Well, it can't be anything else. The problem is Max's three symbols. You know, the silk hat, the cloak, and the white roses. Those symbols were a problem numerous times during yesterday's proceedings. Yesterday, there were two contradictions in Moe's testimony. The silk hat was one, the white roses were the other. And the theory I just presented explains all of those contradictions. You fool! Do you ever shut up? Max's silk hat was found on the scene of the crime. However, remember what Moe said yesterday. He testified that a certain... He testified that the criminal he saw fleeing the scene was wearing a silk hat. There's only one explanation for that. The silk hat that Moe saw was actually the bust's. Rubble, 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 clack. Makes sense if you look at it that way. Then he did see the silk hat. Well, sort of. Objection. Fine, you've got one, but what about the other contradiction? The other contradiction? Remember what the ventriloquist said in court? He said that he witnessed the white rose on Max's chest that night. But the clown's testimony doesn't match. The clown said that there were no white roses. I'd like to see you try and explain that one. Can you do it, Nick? Of course, I can explain all of it. What was that? Please recall the instant when the cloak snagged onto the bust. If the cloak snagged onto the bust, what happened to the white roses? The cloak was inverted. Do you get it yet? The cloak got snagged onto the front of the bust. It means that the white roses would end up on the back of the bust. Ah! Which explains why Moe didn't see them. The white roses were not visible because they were on the back side of the bust. Rubble, 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 clack, clack, clack. Order, order! Is this stupid trial over yet? This is quite the shocking state of affairs. Mr. Wright's theory Mr. Wright's theory still sounds a bit absurd to me. However, let's just keep going down this road for a while and see where it leads. Let's do this, Nick. Then maybe Von Karma will finally throw in the towel. Well, so much for that theory. Mr. Wright, do you mind? What is it? You took the time to research our circus, didn't you? Well, yes, I did. Is there something making you think that I didn't? If you did, then maybe you'll understand why I think you're off track. Why is that? Motive. The witness feels an incredible debt of gratitude toward the ringmaster. Anyone with any relation to the circus is well aware of this. Thus, there is absolutely no way someone like this would kill the ringmaster. Rubble, 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 clack. Your Honor, I'd like you to hear Acro's story. Learn about his relationship with the ringmaster and his life up until now. What do we do? There's no doubting that Acro deeply respected the ringmaster. Acro's motive. Clack. It seems that this case isn't over yet. Very well. However, I feel this is a good place to take a break. I will listen to the rest of Mr. Dingling's testimony after recess. This court will take a 10-minute recess. Clack. And I'll do the same. So we'll finish this up in the next part. So don't you go anywhere. The conclusion is coming up next.